Wife says I'm a mama's boy because I keep visiting my sick mother 3 times a week. She gave me an ultimatum to choose between her or my mom. Then I overheard her and my mill saying they hope my mom DS soon. I never thought I'd be in this situation. I'm 37. My wife Justine is 36, and my mom Martha is 65. For the past few months, things have been getting pretty tense at home, and it's all because of my mom's health. I've always been close to her, and lately she's been really sick. She's always been a strong woman, but now with her health getting worse, I've been trying to be there more for her. But it has caused problems with Justine, and I am stuck between 2 people I love. Justine and I have been married for a few years now, and we've always had a pretty solid relationship. Sure, we've had our issues, like any couple, but nothing that felt like it was going to break us. She's always been supportive of me, and I've tried to do the same for her. We're not perfect, but we've been through a lot together, but lately things have felt off. The thing is, my mom is not perfect either. She's had her moments, and there's definitely some history there with Justine. My mom and Justine don't always get along, and I've had to step in a few times to keep the peace. I've never let my mom be disrespectful to Justine. And if my mom oversteps, I make sure she knows it. But my mom is my mom. And even though she's not always easy to deal with, I want to be there for her, especially now when she's so sick. But Justine has started to act differently. She says I'm spending too much time at my mom's and that it's affecting our marriage. She keeps calling me a mama's boy, like I'm choosing my mom over her. It's hurtful because I don't feel like I'm doing that. I have tried to explain that I am just trying to help my mom, but Justine doesn't see it that way. She says it feels like I'm neglecting her, like I'm more focused on my mom than on our relationship. One night, Justine sat me down and said I had to choose. She told me that I could not keep going like this, that if I kept visiting my mom so often, she would not be able to stay in this marriage. She made it clear that she felt like I was abandoning her and that if I did not start prioritizing her more, things were going to end. It hit me hard. I never thought I would be put in a position where I had to choose between my wife and my mom. I mean, I love Justine, and I want our marriage to work, but my mom is going through a tough time, and I don't want to regret not being there for her when she needs me the most. Justine's frustration is not totally out of nowhere, though. I know I've been spending a lot of time at my mom's. She's not doing well physically, and it's hard to watch. I have been trying to balance it all, but maybe I've been neglecting Justine's feelings. I never meant to, but I also never expected Justine to feel like this. I have always been the type of person who doesn't tolerate disrespect towards my wife. If my mom were rude to Justine, I'd be the first to call her out. But now, it feels like no matter what I do, it's not enough. Justine says I'm being a mama's boy, and I don't know how to fix it. I'm stuck in the middle. I know my mom has been difficult at times. She's not a saint. She said things that have hurt Justine, and I have tried to step in when it happens. But that doesn't change the fact that my mom is sick, and I feel like I need to be there for her. It's not easy, especially when Justine feels like I'm not there for her the way I should be. The more I think about it, the more I feel like I'm losing in both directions. I'm trying to be there for my mom, but I'm also trying to be a good husband. I don't know how to fix this. Justine is telling me I have to choose, but I don't want to choose. I love both of them, and it feels impossible to make everyone happy. It's not like I've been ignoring Justine. I've been trying to spend time with her, but I can't just leave my mom to fend for herself when she's struggling. I've tried to talk to Justine about it, but it just keeps going in circles. She's upset, and I don't know how to make things better. Today, I overheard a conversation between Justine and her mother, Christina, which changed everything. I did not mean to eavesdrop, but I could not help overhearing because I was sitting in the living room and she was sitting at the dining table. At first, it seemed to be a normal conversation, but it quickly became disturbing. Justine and Christina were talking about how they both wanted my mother to pass away soon, so Justine could have me all to herself. They actually said it would be easier for our marriage if my mother were no longer present. I was shocked. I could not believe what I heard. I froze for a moment, trying to figure out what was going on. I'm not sure why they thought it was okay to talk about my mother like that, but it was like a huge punch in the gut. I felt betrayed. Justine, my wife, whom I have been with for years, was talking about my mother's death as a way to improve her life. I don't care how upset Justine is that my mother is unwell. There is no excuse for that. After hearing what I did, I knew I had to do something. I did not want to react in the heat of the moment. So, I decided to give it some thought. After about an hour of pacing and trying to calm myself down, I decided I needed to act. I grabbed a few papers I've been working on recently. They were a draft of my will, something I had been putting together for a while. And let me be clear, these weren't divorce papers, and they weren't anything that would leave Justine out of the picture. It was just a draft I had worked on where I decided to allocate part of my assets to my mom, especially considering her health issues. For context, I earn a good amount of money, and we've always had an agreement that we would not meddle with each other's finances or personal assets. Justine and I agreed years ago that we would keep our own assets separate, so anything I had would be mine to handle as I saw fit. The same went for her. So, I made a decision to ensure that a portion of my possessions, including some family heirlooms and some things I knew my mom wanted, would be left to her when I'm gone. I did not tell Justine about it before handing her the draft because I had completely forgotten to mention it. I didn't think much of it at first. I thought it was just something I needed to do to make sure my mom was taken care of in the long run. But after overhearing that conversation, I felt it was time to make it clear that my mom is not someone to be written off just because she's sick. So, I gave Justine the papers. I thought it would be a way to show her that I was still thinking of her and our marriage, but I also needed her to understand that I was not going to let my mom be disrespected, especially not after what I heard. Justine's reaction was immediate and unexpected. When she saw the papers, her face turned red, and she became visibly upset. She began accusing me of attempting to manipulate her, claiming I was making a big deal out of nothing. She told me I should not make decisions about our future without her opinion and that I should have consulted her first. She claimed I was doing too much and was attempting to guilt-trip her into accepting my decision. She even implied I was cutting her out of my life by making sure my mother received a portion of my assets. I didn't understand how she got there. I explained that the will was not about her, that it was just about making sure my mom was taken care of. I did not ask for her permission because we agreed we would not try to change each other's minds on our personal assets. She did not want to listen to any of it. She told me I was prioritizing my mom over her and that this whole thing felt like a betrayal. At this point, I was starting to lose my patience. I didn't want to fight, but I did not expect her to flip out like this. I had to remind her of the agreement we made when we got married that we would not interfere with each other's possessions. This was not about disrespecting her. It was about ensuring that my mom was looked after given that she's in poor health. But Justine kept pushing the idea that I was doing something wrong. She said I was being selfish, and I should not be making decisions without consulting her first. The more I tried to explain, the more upset she got, and she accused me of trying to take control and said I was making her feel like she was not important in our marriage. I didn't know how to make her understand. In her mind, I was either making an unreasonable decision about the will, or I was neglecting her by spending too much time with my mom. I was already stretched thin trying to balance my obligations to both of them. And now it felt like nothing I did was good enough. I couldn't understand why she was so mad. I was not doing anything wrong. I was not hiding anything from her. I was just trying to make sure my mom was taken care of. I was not asking for her permission because that's how we agreed things would be. But Justine was not seeing it that way. She saw it as me favoring my mom over her. To her, my mom was a burden, not someone deserving of my care. I did not know what to do at this point. I tried to reason with Justine. But every time I tried to explain myself, she only got angrier. It felt like I was talking to a wall. At one point, she even said that I should not have acted like this over something so trivial. But to me, it was not trivial. I wanted to make sure my mom was taken care of. And if I did not do that, I would regret it later. I spent the rest of the day trying to cool down. I thought about how things had gone wrong, how I tried to do the right thing, and how now it felt like I had made everything worse. I didn't want to hurt Justine, but I was not going to back down either. My mom is sick, and I need to take care of her. Justine might not understand it right now, but she doesn't get to dictate how I care for my family, especially when it comes to my mother. So, Ida for handing my wife the draft of my will after overhearing her and her mom discussing how they want my mom to pass away so that she can have me all to herself? Am I wrong for wanting to secure part of my assets for my mom without consulting Justine first? Should I have been more upfront about the will or just kept it to myself? Update 1. It's been a week since I posted, and things have escalated. I honestly did not expect this to blow up the way it has, but here we are, and it's only gotten more complicated. Last week, I mentioned how I'd given my wife Justine the draft of my will, but I never expected her to act like this. She had never done anything like this before, and it was quite shocking. Justine snuck into my office and was looking for the papers. When she could not find them, she confronted me and asked me where I kept them. I informed her that the final draft was with my lawyer, but she didn't care. She kept asking why the papers were not in my office, and to be honest, I was shocked. It seemed like a breach of trust on her part. I never expected her to go behind my back like that. I reminded her about our agreement. We've always respected each other's decisions about our personal possessions and assets. That was the deal we made when we got married, and I have stuck to it. But she was not listening. Instead, she told me it was not fair because she deserved to get what my mom was getting. It was a bold statement. She was not talking about anything specific, but she was talking about the portion of my assets I had set aside for my mom. To be clear, I'd always planned to make sure my mom was taken care of while she was alive. When she passes away, that portion will be moved on to our kids. Justine was not happy about that, and I could tell she was frustrated that I had made the decision without consulting her. I tried to explain to her that my mom is very sick, and I'm doing this because I want to make sure she's cared for. It was not about Justine not getting anything. It's about what I feel is right for my family. But Justine was not hearing me. She kept arguing, trying to make me feel like I was doing something wrong. She did not understand why I prioritized my mom over her. I told her that I was not prioritizing my mom. I was just looking out for her in her time of need. She's sick. I did not feel right abandoning her. Then I told her something I'd been holding on to. I told Justine that I had overheard her and her mom talking, And I heard them saying they wanted my mom to pass away soon so that Justine could have me all to herself. Justine looked completely caught off guard. She had no idea I knew about that conversation. And I think that was when she realized how serious I was about all of this. Hearing that conversation was honestly a wake-up call for me. It made me even more sure about the decisions I've been making. And I was not going to back down just because Justine was upset. At first, Justine did not say anything. Then she tried to defend herself by saying that my mom had never been kind to her. She could not understand how I could side with someone who treated her badly. I told her that I never sided with my mom when she was rude to her. I have always taken her side when my mom was disrespectful, but now my mom is ill, and I'm just trying to be there for her. It was not about siding with anyone. It was about caring for family in their time of need. Justine did not seem to understand that, and that's when she asked me the question I did not want to answer. She asked me, if I had to choose, who would I choose? Justine or my mom? I did not hesitate. Of course, I would choose Justine. She's my wife, and I made a commitment to her. But I also told her that I could not just abandon my mom while she's sick. I would not be able to live with myself if I did that. That's when Justine said something that really caught me off guard. She told me I was setting a bad example for our son Matt. She said if I kept putting my mom before her, Matt would grow up thinking it was okay to do the same thing. I was shocked. It felt like she was using our son to guilt-trip me into changing my mind. I told her that if I abandoned my mom, Matt would learn that it's okay to neglect family when they need you. I wanted him to see that caring for family is important, even when it's hard. I thought that was a better lesson than teaching him to abandon people who need help. Justine did not say anything after that. She just walked out of the room, and I haven't really heard from her since. It's been awkward between us, and I don't know where we go from here. It's frustrating because I don't want to be at odds with Justine, but I also don't think I can just abandon my mom like she wants me to. I feel like I'm stuck in the middle of two people I love, and I don't know how to make both of them happy. Update 2. I've been thinking a lot about the situation I'm in and the feedback I've been getting. A lot of people have called me a mama's boy or said I'm prioritizing my mom over my wife. I get why it might look that way, but it's not the full story. This is more complicated than it seems. And I want to explain where I'm coming from. This is not about me being spoiled or choosing my mom over my wife because of some unhealthy attachment. It's about what my mom has done for me, what she sacrificed, and how that shaped who I am. When I was 5 years old, my father left. He disappeared suddenly. No goodbyes, no child support, no assistance, nothing. From that point forward, it was just my mom and me. She did not have the option of grieving or falling apart. She needed to step up, and she did, even if it meant sacrificing her own well-being. We did not have much. Actually, we had almost nothing. My mom worked 2 jobs just to make ends meet. And even then, there were times when the ends did not meet. I remember nights when there was not enough food for both of us. She would give me her portion and go to bed hungry. She never complained or made me feel guilty about it, but I knew. She made sure I had clothes, school supplies, and everything else a kid needed, even if it meant going without for herself. I did not understand it fully at the time, but now that I'm older, I see the full extent of what she did for me. She gave up her own comfort, her dreams, even her health to make sure I had a chance at a better life. Because of her sacrifices, I was able to go to school, get a good education, and build a life for myself. I owe everything to her. She did not just raise me. She gave me opportunities she never had, even though it cost her so much. Now, my mom is sick, and I can't turn my back on her. She's the person who's been there for me through everything, and I feel it's my responsibility to be there for her now. How could I not? She's the reason I am who I am today. But I know this has been hard on Justine, and I'm not ignoring her feelings. Things between her and my mom haven't always been easy. My mom can be difficult. She has strong opinions and doesn't always filter what she says. There have been times when she's been rude or dismissive to Justine. And I've always defended my wife. I have never let my mom disrespect her. That said, this situation is different. My mom's health is declining. I can't just walk away from her. I have made decisions to ensure she's taken care of, including changes to my will, and I know those decisions upset Justine. She feels like I'm putting my mom above her, and I understand why it feels that way. But from my perspective, this is not about choosing one over the other. It's about doing what I believe is right. My mom sacrificed her entire life for me. She gave up everything to make sure I had a future. How could I turn my back on her now when she needs me the most? I'm not trying to hurt Justine or make her feel less important. I love her, and I care deeply about her feelings, but my mom is the person who made me who I am. She's the reason I even have the ability to build a life with Justine. It's not something I can ignore or push aside. I know this might sound like I'm prioritizing my mom, but that's not how I see it. I'm just trying to take care of the person who took care of me when no one else would. My dad was not there, and no one else stepped up. It was just her. She gave me everything she had, and I feel like I owe her for that. I also understand that Justine feels hurt. She probably feels like she's being pushed to the side, and that's not fair to her. I don't want her to feel like she's coming second. I'm not trying to choose sides, but I also can't abandon my mom. I'm stuck in the middle trying to balance these two relationships, and I feel like I'm failing both of them. Justine has every right to be upset. I know this situation is not easy for her. She probably thinks I'm putting my mom before her, and I don't know how to make her see that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to handle everything the best way I can. I have spent a lot of time reflecting on this, and I realize there's no perfect solution. I can't leave my mom when she's sick and vulnerable, but I also don't want to ruin my marriage. I want Justine to know that I love her and value our relationship. At the same time, my mom's sacrifices aren't something I can just forget. She gave up everything for me, and I feel a deep responsibility to take care of her now. It's not about choosing her over Justine. It's about doing what feels right to me. I hope this helps people understand where I'm coming from. I am not trying to make excuses or justify hurting anyone. I just want to be honest about why I'm doing what I'm doing. I love my wife, and I want our marriage to work, but I also love my mom, and I feel like I owe her everything. This is one of the hardest things I've ever had to work with. I don't know if I'm making the right choices, but I'm trying to do my best. I hope that in time Justine can see that this is not about me picking one of them over the other. It's about trying to honor the person who raised me while still being a good husband. Update 3. It's been a while since I last posted, and the situation has only gotten worse. I want to give a more detailed update on everything that's happened and explain what exactly went down because honestly, I am still in shock from how everything escalated. After I made my last post, things got quiet for a while. Justine did not talk to me for almost 2 weeks. She was clearly upset, and there was so much tension between us. I didn't know what to do or how to fix it, and I just kept hoping things would calm down. They did not. Then her mother, Christina, showed up at my place. She said she needed to talk to me. At first, I was not sure what the purpose of her visit was, but I agreed to sit down with her anyway. Christina began by telling me how Justine felt. She claimed Justine was feeling neglected and unloved. She felt like I had stopped caring about her. That really threw me off because that was never my intention. I always assumed I was doing everything I could to make her feel loved and supported, but she clearly did not. I tried to explain everything about my mother, how she was sick, how she had always been there for me, and how I could not abandon her now. I told her that I still wanted to make things right with Justine, but after what I had heard, I was not sure how to do so. Christina did not seem to care about my explanation. She just kept pushing me to cut my mom off completely, saying that if I did not do that, then Justine would never want to stay with me. It did not make sense. I asked her to leave because I was not going to tolerate this anymore. Later, Justine came back from work, and I asked her if she knew her mom had visited me. She said yes. And then she told me something that shocked me even more. She said her mom was the only one who could knock some sense into me, but since that did not work, there was no hope left for us. She said, we should file for divorce. I just could not believe it. I did not understand how we got to this point. It was like everything was spinning out of control. I tried to reason with her. I told her my mom was sick, and I was not just going to abandon her. Justine did not want to hear it. She told me if I wanted to stay with her, I had to be more present. I told her that I was and that I was not neglecting her. I visit my mom 3 times a week for a few hours, and that doesn't mean I'm not there for Justine. But she did not seem to care. Then came the part that really crushed me. Justine told me that she could not even share those few hours with my mom. She could not understand why I would spend that time with a woman like my mother. At that moment, I didn't know how to respond. But when I asked her what she meant by that, she went off. She started saying some of the worst things I have heard about my mother. Justine said that my mom was the reason my dad left when I was 5. She blamed my mom for my dad's departure, saying that my mom was so terrible that she could not even keep him around. That hit me hard. My mom gave up everything for me. And for Justine to say that my mom drove my dad away, it just did not sit right with me. But it didn't stop there. She continued to attack my mom. She said that my mom could not even provide for me properly, that she was a terrible mother because of how we lived when I was growing up. She called my mom irresponsible and said she could not make a man stay. So what did she know about relationships or love? She said my mom could not even take care of herself. So how could she know anything about taking care of me, let alone anyone else? The thing that hurt the most was when she said that my mom did not know how to make a family work. Justine implied that because my mom could not keep my dad, she had no right to give me advice or take care of me the way she had. She said that my mom was useless and weak and that I should not be spending so much time with her. When she said that, it was like everything just stopped. I felt this wave of anger and disgust. I didn't even know how to respond. I tried to stay calm, but I was done. She was not disrespecting my mom. She was attacking everything my mom did for me, the woman who worked her fingers to the bone to make sure I had a life, who made so many sacrifices so that I could have a better future. Justine was just tearing her down, and I could not take it anymore. I told her if she really wanted a divorce, then that's what she would get. I was done. She crossed the line, and there was no coming back from it. I told her if she wanted to leave, she could leave that day. But I also told her that if she ever tried to take Matt away from me, she would face the consequences. I was not going to let her drag my son into this. I'm not proud of how things have ended. But I am also not sorry. I can't live with someone who doesn't understand how much my mom means to me. She might not have always been perfect, but mom gave everything for me. And I can't let someone tear her down like that. I did not want things to end like this, but the things Justine said were unforgivable. I can't get past that. So, we're getting divorced. We've agreed to joint custody of Matt, and I am focusing on him now. He's the one person I'm still going to make sure is okay through all of this. But as for Justine, she made her choice, and I made mine.